How's it going, folks? Now, I know you guys may see or hear about all these Instagram models. They're going to Dubai, they fly them out, amount of X of money, and they do all sorts of stuff, which I'm not going to explain it here. You guys know what it is. Now, I know someone is trying to offer me right now to be part of this agent, but more of local scale, not on the Dubai scale. But they are multi-millionaires, right, who live in Melbourne and deliver that sort of service by that. That particular person saw me and knows how to talk, or X, Y, and Z. And I don't want to get into details about it. So it's basically introduce these girls and to these guys and can be having a good time or whatever. Now, the thing about this whole thing, like I said, I'm Chinese. I don't know much about this unless you're from the countries in the Arab nations. They understand what I'm saying. It's the fact that these guys, they are very hypersexual, right? They have wives, they have kids, they have family, alright? And what that particular person is telling me, like, these guys will say, can we end up as a secret marriage? And what you get in a secret marriage, you get a house and a car, right? And also the conditions that you cannot play with other guys or do X, Y, and Z, everything like that. It's basically, you're my property, basically, like a marriage. And my mate's been telling me about this whole thing, this offer, and he's been telling me of he's been organizing these events like clubbing and parties and dinners, X, Y, and Z. And obviously, the guys cannot control themselves, even though you explain the boundaries, right? And that's why I said to myself, like, you gotta like, for me, this is a whole new thing to me. Like, in my culture, we talk about 小老婆. 小老婆 in Chinese means like your second or third wife, right? You got the main wife, right? 小老婆. 小老婆, you get them, they do whatever they want, whatever there is, right? Okay, you marry them, they provide like emotional and physical needs whenever you want it, and you can start a family with them, right? I know a lot of cultures doing that as well. But when you're in the Western world, I can do that with a chick that lives in the village or whatsoever, with a millionaire businessman, alright? I don't care, right? But when you're in Australia, and these Insta girls, they get pretty good offers day in and day out in their DM chats. What makes you think that they want to tie this man down and have a Ferrari? Oh, I don't know. I won't say Ferrari, but I don't know, maybe a BMW. And a house where she can clock that much money in a week. Like, maybe, I don't know, let's just say 20k a week. I'm just saying the real popular one. Why would they need this sort of arrangement? Alright? So, me breaking it down to understand the whole thing, I speak to those who are from an Arab background. I speak to them, they say, yeah, it's a common thing. They tell me a bit of history about it. But I'm just there, I'm like, which Australian girl willing to do that? Right? Short term, it's even hard to find a girl that willing to sleep with them. Alright? For God's sakes, don't put me into it, alright? But these guys, they are very hypersexual. They can do 5 times a day. Maybe every day. And not only just that, don't want just one. They want maybe like a couple of them. For example, they might have like, the goal is not, 1 is not enough. 2 is maybe not enough. 3 may not enough. To the sexual desire, sexual urge. And I said to my mate, I think the best way to do it is, it's very, very tricky to do this. And you put these Insta girls to making this sort of stuff. We can make it happen, but what happens if they don't want to do it? Because there's no moral compass, even when you make the transaction or not transaction. Where can you find this type of girl willing to do it? You know, maybe a short term, maybe a week or day or month, whatever how it is, right? Where can we find a girl can do it? The answer is it's too much a liability, because it's like a money transaction here. We there's a demand, we supply the demand, but there's too much liability, because technically we can label it as a sex trafficker if we be honest right now. If I'm honest, brutal honest with you guys. And I say no, because there should be a form of legal document, because we can't be sued, because we don't know what's going to happen on that day. We can explain boundaries, anything like that. You know, one alcohol led to another alcohol, it may be a different story. And you know, they can put allegations on us, and this is the problem. I'm like, I don't want to be in allegations or whatever. And I'm not here to say I'm proud of myself to say that out to you guys, all right? Because it's for me to learn and what's the boundaries. You can start with the clubs, dinner, and this and that, but it's a lot bigger process. And now for me, before I only know a glimpse of what's it like to be in Dubai with the Instagram models, but I just can't imagine like in the local scale. To me, to look at it, I'm just there, I'm like, it's just too much a liability ahead, and it's not worth it doing it, because if I get caught, I'm just gonna go jail and I can't work anymore with a criminal record. It's not worth the money at all. But for that particular fella, person, is more of a business game, you know, try to attract the big fish or big shark or whatever you guys call it. But doesn't matter, because for his personal business, right? Not personal, but I'm saying like his existing business in whatever the industry that he want to establish, so he can make it easier. That's what I'm trying to say. Now I understand with all these Insta models, this and that. You look at the pictures, you think, oh yeah, I reckon she would do this if I pay her that much. But really, if you pay her that much, she's willing to do 7 times a day or whatever. I know it's a duty, but who's going to do that? I have to say.